to our final speaker, and that is Andrew Barry, who I introduced earlier, the Managing Director of Exxon PNG, and also the country lead for Exxon. So he's going to provide to us and expand on this of the story of the stakeholder sharing and what drives the team behind the project. Andrew.
Thanks, Richard, and a massive thanks to all of the presenters here this morning. Well, this afternoon, I should say. Cesar and Luke and Augustine and Noni, really appreciate all the words that you've said and the way that you've talked through that the value of this project has created across the larger, the macro level, and then all down to the micro level as well, which is so incredibly important. So thank you so much for being here. And I am truly proud and really humbled to be here today and really to share with you how the PNG LNG project is changing lives and bringing long-lasting benefits to this great country. And as I was preparing for this webinar, I went back to the very first speech I gave when I stepped into this position almost 6 years ago now. And it was at the annual Government Leadership Summit. And what struck me was how much the speech focused on the importance of partnership, teamwork, and a collective vision to improve the standard of living and lives of all Papua New Guineans. I had no idea at that time the highs and the lows we would experience over the next 6 years and how important those words and messages would be. Like me, I'm sure it brings us all great joy that our project is performing better than other projects in the region that were built at a similar time. The PNG LNG project is literally best in class from a safety perspective, environmental, reliability, and very importantly, on a comparative basis, it has returned significantly more to Papua New Guinea than other projects and to their host countries. Today, I want to spend some of the time really telling you a few stories that have impacted me and the people for PNG LNG in a very personal way. The first story is called An Amazing Journey. And one day I received this email in my inbox, and it was called An Amazing Journey. And the email contained this photograph that I have up on the screen now. And it was one that I've been waiting for a very long time. And it's really hard to describe the emotion when I saw this and this photograph and recognize the achievements of this team, the pride, the happiness, and the strength of what this team has been able to achieve. And you ask, why is this? It's just a simple picture of staff in a control room. This was a huge milestone for us, which was many years in the making. Our technicians who had started as operations and maintenance trainees were now running the show. And they were being led by Alex Oki, our new pipeline supervisor, and Noah Pingan, our production operations supervisor. This was and is an entire Papua New Guinean staffed shift of the operations, from on the board, out in the plant, and right along the pipeline. The complexity of our operations and the complexity of the work and how technical it is to be able to achieve this result where it's being completely run by Papua New Guineans was a huge achievement and sense of pride for us. And this and thousands of other stories like you heard from Christine or Jeremiah, where working at or with PNG LNG has changed their and their children's future. And it is exactly what gives us the passion to work so hard day in and day out. It is the impact that we have on the people of Papua New Guinea. It is what our organisation focuses on. It's what motivates us. It's what we talk about often. And this multiplying effect can't be measured with numbers, but has the potential to shape the future of our country. Let's quickly recap on the numbers for PNG LNG, because they are large, they are significant and impressive. We've heard both from Luke and Augustine, who are fantastic partners in this project, and it's so inspiring to hear the benefits that are flowing back, on that micro and macro level and back into the community. The PNG LNG project is the largest single investment in PNG, and since 2014, over 10 billion kina has been paid back to the country through taxes, landowner royalties, development levies and distributions to Kumul and MIDC. 10 billion kina. That's not 10 million kina, that's 10,000 million kina. This pie chart describes that breakout with more than 2.5 billion kina in taxes, 1.5 billion being corporate income tax, more than 2 billion paid to landowners and the provincial government, and more than 5.5 billion to Kumul. And these numbers are even more impressive when you take into consideration the reduction that we've seen in oil and gas prices since startup, and that minor little event we had in 2018 called an earthquake. So what can 10 billion kina get in this great nation? And what would the country be like without this contribution? You heard some of the contribution that it's had and that multiplying effect. And why do some critics believe it's not enough? My second story, The Tale of Two Brothers, is one that some of you may have seen an article, A Tale of Two Brothers in the national papers. And it is a story how two brothers, Francis and Patrick Kunuma, started Naris Engineering Limited. It's a business that specialises in equipment inspection and non-destructive testing services. And in 2012, Naris Engineering started providing services to PNG LNG, first as a subcontractor, then a primary contractor, replacing an international service provider. Through this partnership, we worked with Naris to enhance their management systems towards world-class standards that ExxonMobil applies globally. Through learning from this partnership, Naris Engineering has not only expanded, but has been awarded a contract with Origin Energy in Australia to provide services to the region. An incredible success story that each and every one of us are extremely proud of. So the PNG LNG project, we've spent more than 15 billion kina. Again, these are billions, not millions. 15 billion kina in country on goods and services across both construction and production phases of the project, where we have strived to help create, train and employ local businesses so that they can in turn grow to employ more and more Papua New Guineans. Approximately 4 billion kina has been invested back into local landowner companies or landcos, including education and training programs to help contribute to their growth and the long-term success. Our commitment to investing in local goods and services saw 280 local businesses, 280, and 13 landcos engaged during 2019, doubling our support of local suppliers since production began. And this number continues to grow year on year. We absolutely share the PNG government's goal of building the capacity of local suppliers and SMEs, and our efforts in this space continue to feature prominently across all aspects of the project. And as you heard Corey Chan, we have passed on our values and standards to help create a strong foundation for businesses to expand and the broader local industry and economy to flourish. My third story here is about Stephen Merajimbi. This is Stephen on one of our facilities, a floating production storage and offloading facility in Guyana, which is off the northeast coast of South America. Stephen is a machinery engineer from PNG in his early 30s who has been based in Houston, Texas. Stephen started his career in 2011 and with PNG LNG as an instrumentation and controls engineer after graduating from Unitec. Stephen moved to the US on assignment in 2019, and this assignment was to help him develop and learn skills that would propel his career so he could contribute more to Papua New Guinea. This year, Stephen was selected from many other machinery engineers globally to support our project in Guyana, and such an incredible moment for us and an achievement for him. At PNG LNG, we believe our people are our greatest asset. Our approach to workforce development involves creating local jobs and training Papua New Guineans. Today, over 3,000 Papua New Guineans work across our operations, making up 9 out of every 10 of our local workforce, with more than 60 holding leadership roles within the organisation. We continue to invest and grow our talent pool through partnerships with the PNG universities and the Petroleum Academy that Luke talked about, and as you heard from Zilla, our training supervisor in the video. More than 230 Papua New Guineans, which include 25% women, have been recruited through our operations and maintenance program. We now have a higher percentage of women working in our operations and maintenance group than any other affiliate, ExxonMobil affiliate in the world. I want to say that again, right? We have a higher percentage of women working in our most technical part of our organisation than any other affiliate in the world. Last year, our organisation was getting ready to mobilise a team of young Papua New Guineans to Yokohama, Japan, to work on the feed phase of our expansion project. This assignment would have given the team amazing exposure to learning about projects and working with world-class vendors. The entire organisation was an absolute buzz with excitement. As we were about to trigger the move, our progress on our expansion project stalled, and we ended up pulling down these assignments. We demobilised all of our project teams from here in Papua New Guinea, from Japan, from Singapore, from Melbourne, from Houston, and have been pulled back all our Papua New Guineans around the world as the uncertainty around expansion became apparent. It has literally impacted thousands of people's lives, and I tell you, one of the hardest decisions I've had to make in my career. I'm hopeful that in the future we'll be able to remobilise these teams. My next story, my fourth story and final story, is the Pajiba Women's Group. This is Sarah Tindapaja and her group from the Pajiba Women's Group in Hides. Sarah, who was a housewife until recently, is a mother of 5 and a grandmother, and our project has partnered with Sarah and the Women's Group, building the agriculture capacity and capability. After 3 years of this partnership, these farmers today hold a contract with the Hides Alliance Group, who run catering services for the Hides gas conditioning plant. This contract includes the provision of approximately 2,000 kilograms of fresh produce and vegetables each week. Sarah, who is now in her first leadership role, has advanced this group from subsistence farming to an SME registered with the IPA, and this income is now helping Sarah make a huge difference in her ability to support a family. It's just another example of the impact that the project, which cannot be measured in some of the numbers, and it's the multiplying effect that we know is there, but is sometimes hard to measure. As part of the expansion offer, we have been planning the support of a 300 million kina agriculture partnership in Hela, which was to support the livelihoods and over 5,000 jobs. You heard from Kathy, Alex, on our investment and support for long-term partnerships and commitment improving livelihoods. We have invested more than 200 million kina in hospitals, clinics, schools, women's empowerment, agriculture, education, scholarships, sporting clubs, charities, sexual violence safe houses, livelihood capacity building, and business support training. We are improving the quality of lives across PNG for the long term. In partnership with the landowner companies and the Department of Works, we're also making ongoing improvements to infrastructure, including upgrades to highways, roads, and bridges. While 2020 has presented many challenges, we continue to invest in PNG's future, as we believe there are many opportunities to grow. Over the past decade, our partnership with government, industries, and the communities in which we work continues to grow and deliver social value for PNG in ways that benefit the long-term livelihood of all Papua New Guineans. Our focus on domestic gas has been seeing PNG LNG supplying approximately 50% of Port Moresby's power demand, and which now will be more than 100% when the Dirio plant starts up and is fully commissioned and fully providing power into the community. And again, the event that we had last week, Augustine, was just an incredible moment, I know, for you and for me and for many, to see that project come to life. We remain committed to supporting other project power opportunities and projects, including those in the Hela area. And imagine what constant, low-cost power supply in Port Moresby can mean. We've got the capacity sorted, we're just got to get the transmission sorted now. And also what a constant and cheap power supply for the households in the Hela province can be. From the stories I've shared, you can see we've come a very long way, and we want to continue to move forward. We want to also make sure we don't lose the progress we've made so far, and this will take the support of everybody. One team moving forward, PNG. CISA started this conversation with reflection on the Hiri trade, and as I bring these initial remarks to a close, I also want to reflect on the Hiri trade. It shows resilience, it shows teamwork, it showed a shared vision amongst many stakeholders. It shows the importance and challenging role that trade plays in our society. The commodity of trade at that time was the humble clay pot made by the women of the Motuan village. Today, the product coming off the shore is LNG that is exported to the world. It takes all of us, some who you've heard from today, to ensure that the ship sails and makes the trade. Just like the Hiri trade, it started with one village in Boira and eventually expanded to other villages as the value of this trade is seen. Looking ahead, expanding our infrastructure for upcoming projects will not only unlock employment opportunities for Papua New Guineans, but create opportunities for new commercial ventures to drive and deliver long-term and sustainable economic returns for the country. Thanks, Richard.
Thank you very much, Andrew. And I think the presentations we've seen today, as we look at, if we reflect on all of this, the speed of internet and social media, I think makes us impatient as a people. And when we get impatient, we forget the story of the journey. And I appreciate how you've started, CISA, with the Hiri trade and the journey, because it's important for us as a people to understand that all of this is a journey. And when we started, we were introduced to young Papua New Guineans, young trainees, who talked about their opportunity that was before them, but also expressed gratitude for the opportunity that they were given. And then we came across, as you went through the presentation, Andrew, we talked about the picture of the amazing story of the young Papua New Guineans who are in charge. And I appreciate you also adding the story of the young Papua New Guinea now in Guyana. So not just Papua New Guineans in charge of the PNG LNG project in key aspects of our production, but now we are exporting that skill set across and contribute to the world. And this is this journey, and this is the really full picture that we talk about, and it's so important for us to do so.